Welcome again to the Let's Be Frank podcast, where home improvement legend and metal roofing expert Frank Farmer talks about how you can improve your sales and customer satisfaction and grow your metal roofing business. Let's Be Frank is brought to you by Metal Roofing Consultants, training successful metal roofers nationwide. Learn more at metalroofingconsultants.com. And by Isaiah Industries, in the business of manufacturing the very best permanent roofing solutions for homes across North America and around the world. Learn more at isaiahindustries.com. On this edition of Let's Be Frank, we talk about in-home selling systems, one-call closes, and getting more money per sale. Let's get started. One of the places that a lot of businesses start maybe with a new product line or just early in business is they wing it. They've done it before. They know how to sell a little bit. They go in and they wing it. Mm-hmm. What is the difference between a sales process, which might feel too scripted or too structured for some guys, versus, I can go in and I can wing it? What are you going to see in terms of working those two systems?
Okay. The first system that you talked about, that people run it and wing it, they are generally people who have never had professional sales training, and therefore they put together their own sales program. And generally, when I look at those programs, it's all about them. It screams, me, 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 me. It doesn't have anything about the customer, finding out their wants, finding out what their desires are, nothing about thorough examination. So they go in, they're hit by the customer right away. It says, just give me your price. Because the customer has commoditized the roof. Mm-hmm. And it doesn't matter whether we're talking about metal or we're talking about, we can help everybody, okay?
Yeah.
But they've commoditized this. Mm-hmm. And that person that's winging it doesn't know how to get out of that because the customer keeps beating them up. And they're dealing with a commodity. That person doesn't understand how to take maybe that shingle that everybody else is using and how to brand it towards their own. Mm-hmm. How to turn it into a roof system that they're selling, mm-hmm. that instead of having to compete on price, they have a system here that nobody else has that they're able to get a premium. While everybody else might be giving these people prices that are $8,000, $8,500, $78,000, next guy's trying to get $76,000. This person walks in and gives them a price of $11,500 and he gets the deal. And you're like, how did he do that?
Exactly. Yeah.
He followed an emotional type of plan. So a consultative type of sales that we would teach first talks about how to ask all the right questions, mm-hmm. how to follow a program of doing a system of inspections and even using our forms, mm-hmm. so that they got something they're totally different than the last guy, mm-hmm. how to instantly gain those people's trust, how to do a very short presentation, all full of emotion, and how to give them a price, but how to close while they're there. Mm-hmm. How to make it easy for that customer to buy. Because after you leave, the emotion drops from what you talked about. Yeah. So your chances of getting a sale goes down, 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 the further away that you get from that appointment date. And so typically, people give out bids. They follow up, and it turns out to be lowest bid stuff most of the time. We're a proponent. We go in a house, do a presentation, and close that day. No follow-up later.
Okay, so you're talking about a one-call close and about getting more per sale than you might be getting right now. How do you train that in? What is the component there?
Okay, to train it, first of all, it's not scripted, but it is planned. And the plan is designed based upon the area in which they live. Mm-hmm. So the market's different in Texas than the market is in California. That's different in Washington and Florida and Michigan. Mm-hmm. Okay? They're all a little different. But really, when you look at it, the whole process is the same. Some of the components that we put in there are a little bit different. So if we're going to train somebody, we've done it several ways. One, they can come into like a sales boot camp and learn a sales process. Mm-hmm. Others, we have designed a very simple sales presentation for them with book and have trained via Zoom through a series of 2.5 hour meetings that might encompass anywhere between 10 and 12 hours of training. Mm-hmm. And we have somebody very remote. We've done that several times now during the pandemic.
Sure.
Because people can't travel,
yeah,
right?
Yeah.
So we keep costs down. They get what they want. They get a program that works, and they start seeing successes, and they can't believe that they're really earning profit, not just wage.
Mm-hmm. So is it hard to teach in that idea that you're going to get significantly more than your competitors? for the same, you know what I mean? I mean, I know we get a lot.
Okay, but here's the misconception. You're not going to give that customer the same product. So let's say we're talking about an asphalt roof and CertainTeed shingles is what you happen to sell, and your competitors are selling CertainTeed, and they might sell also GAF or Tamco or some of the others that are out there. But basically anybody can go get a CertainTeed shingle. The whole program isn't built about you selling CertainTeed shingles. The whole program is about taking a CertainTeed shingle and putting other components in there, such as maybe a high flow vent. So you can put a high flow vent or high performance vent that your competition can't get a hold of. You find products that you can incorporate that are exclusive to you.
Okay.
So when you do that, you add that, and the only thing you're using from CertainTeed may be that shingle, but you have such superior ventilation. Give you for instance, what value would it be to the average roofer if they could just change out the vent system that's on there and look at a customer and say, I can lower your utility bills between 10 and 25%.
Well, yeah, that's huge, obviously.
So if somebody's going to be in this house for 10 years, the reality is they might be spending $70,000 on utilities in the next 10 years. Okay? When you start adding the amount of inflation, maybe it's only $30,000. But if a person can save 25%, that's $7,500.
Yeah.
Pretty soon the ventilation starts paying for the roof. That's the kind of advantages we're talking about. You teach people how to incorporate these products so you're a standout, not that you're doing everything like everybody else.
Sure. So you hear a lot about per square pricing, right? Everybody wants, well, how much is it a square? Well, what is it a square? And inside the industry, you hear that as well. People always want to know, what do you get in a square for your roofs? Now, I know our numbers are strong, but that's based on a plan. That's based on understanding where your costs are involved. MRC is about training that as well, correct?
Yes, yeah. Some of the things that we help people understand in business is we take a look at their business model and we say to them, okay, where does our selling point need to be for you as an owner to make what you want in wage, but also when you're done with everything that your company or your corporation is profitable. So we've got to determine what that price is going to be. And quite honestly, when a lot of guys see it, they start flipping out.
Yeah.
Okay. That's a lot more than we're used to selling, and they really don't see it until they start seeing it in practice. Okay. When they see it in practice and understand the system that's in place to generate that lead that not everybody else is calling on. Okay, and there's a unique thought in itself.
Yeah.
See, Jim, if you're waiting for somebody to contact you and they're contacting 6 other people for bids, you are caught up in the commodity game.
Yeah.
If you understand marketing and you understand how to put together a small website, more than just a brochure, okay? But we could give them help on how do you do search engine marketing and search engine optimization. So as you start earning some money, you generate a lead generating machine. So when somebody's giving you their name, they have not given that name out to 10 other people.
Yeah.
Okay.
No,
Many times they were intrigued. They heard about, might have been how we got helped you get some PR where you have a nice article written about how nice your vents are working, or what you did at the Smith house to save the house, okay, or how you helped these people. And that story generated some phone calls. When that happens, you're the only one talking to them, and you're already the expert because they read about you. So there's more to lead generation than what people think. And we teach an all-encompassing system that starts with generating that lead, then how to take that lead and put it through a call center or somebody that's setting the appointment, which should not be the salesperson, and then how to hand that off to the salesperson and teach them a process on how they demo the roof system, because they're not selling a shingle. And then how do we install it profitably so that when we're done, everybody gets paid and everybody makes money, and yet there's enough there to pay staff and have profit.
Talk about why you don't let your sales guys into home shows.
Oh, that's real simple, okay? Because a salesperson's interested in getting a sale. And in any type of show or event, you're interested in getting an opportunity for a sale. So a salesperson will go right past the qualification for a lead And he wants to smoke out the one that he's for sure because he don't want to waste his time. So he ends up with very few leads. He's gave him way too much information. He thinks he's being slick. And by the time it comes to go out to that appointment, they already have all the information and they cancel the appointments. We'd rather show our goods, not give them a lot of information about pricing, the good things about the product. Our reps know all that. Bring that lead in, then set an appointment for a rep so he gets a full opportunity in front of everybody. Because many times it shows you only have one homeowner there. And so you spend all this time giving them the information. So when you're going to go out, you need to give both people the information. Okay, you need both people there for an appointment and to get a sale.
That's a sticking point. I know. Sometimes you get some negative in your social media, whatever, if you enforce that policy. What's the point of doing that, and why do you stick to that one?
Okay, you're talking about why is it that we require both parties there?
Yeah, both homeowners. Yeah,
it's to protect them. We understand that we can't get a sale unless we have both homeowners there. Can you sell just one party? Yes, and they'll have the bravado. I make all the decisions and this. But when you're selling a premium product and selling a premium roof system, you and your partner have already known that the range, let's say on this roof, for an asphalt roof, is going to be, say, $7,500 to $10,000.
Okay.
So, Jim, we come to your house, and you and your spouse think that that's going to be the range, and we spend a lot of time with you and help you understand. And, oh, my gosh, during the inspection process, when we went and did the inspection in the attic, well, we found out you had incredible amounts of moisture, and you've got mold that's already starting. You have some serious challenges that need to get handled along with us. And you decide that, no, you don't want a run-of-the-mill vent. You want something that super performs so we can dry out the insulation, cut down your utility bills. That's going to save you $5,000, $10,000.
They don't have this info? Nobody else has told them this?
No one else has told them. Because everybody else come in as a salesperson. Came in as a logical salesperson.
Okay.
They didn't come in as a consultant to find and ask questions.
Okay.
Follow me?
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. So you decide that, I want this system here, and the system isn't $7,500. It's not $10,000. This whole system's $13,200. And you're all excited. You know it's the best for you and your spouse. And she comes home and you say, well, I bought us a roof. Really? How much? $13,200? Are you crazy? This other guy was $7,800. And now you can't even remember half of it, and it's all based on, well, you just got to trust me on this. Well, it doesn't work that way. You end up canceling.
Yeah.
So when we say it's best for them, there's a lot of information that we're going to help them with. When we work with somebody with MRC, we give them the scripting of how to set that appointment, because it's how to control your environment. We don't have a problem getting both people home. It is rarely a problem for us to get both people home. They want to be there to get the information.
When you're working with salespeople, and you've got some really high-performing salespeople, I'm guessing that the process gives you an ability to see when something's not right in the sales process.
Yes.
Right, with the sales guy's performance. It's easily correctable. Is that right?
Yes. And it starts again. I keep talking about it's a whole system that's out there that people can benefit from. When we hire a sales rep, we understand what the numbers should be per 100 appointments that they leave our company with. We know what their demo rate should be. We understand what our not home rate is going to be for the year. We understand that how many people they won't be able to get through a complete presentation that we're going to call a no demo. Understanding those numbers, we also understand what percentage they should close on the minimum, and we understand what really good guys can do on the high end. But we set minimum standards. So when something gets out of whack and a sales rep quits selling, and you hear about these 0 for 10s and 0 for 13s, and you wonder what's going on. You could easily go into the system and take a look. Where are they having challenges? Oh, they're getting a bunch of no demos. Oh, they're having challenges over here. So you know what to pinpoint to go to work with them and help them get back on track. Rarely does a salesperson know how to get themselves back on track because they don't recognize what they're doing that isn't right. When a salesperson gets frustrated, I should say a sales consultant gets frustrated, they turn into a salesperson. And that starts to destroy the whole process, and then it becomes commoditized, and then the whole thing becomes about price, and they get this big beat up feeling instead of being on top of the world selling with systems.
Sure. And it costs a lot of money to get that guy to somebody's front door. That's a number you should know.
Yes. When we help people, the way you make one of these businesses very, very profitable is understand where the leaks in the bucket are. Where are you losing cash? So you should know, based on how many leads you get in, how many are going to be set, and out of how many are going to be set, how many are actually going to get run by salespeople, because sometimes you'll have customers call in, cancel appointments and things like that. And then you know the demo rate and you know the close rate in the whole process. But you should be able to take what you're spending in marketing and divide it by the number of leads that you're generating and have what we call a raw lead cost. Once you understand that raw lead cost, you start staring at it and you see, I got a raw lead cost here of $280. Some others might be $430. I've seen them as high as $750 raw lead costs. You realize when you handed that guy, if you have a $480 lead cost, you hand him 10 leads, you just gave him $4,800. What do you mean you went 0 for 10?
Exactly.
Okay. Yeah. So you go to work immediately instead of just running marketing dollars and then handing it off to salespeople, letting them set their own leads. They might have 50 leads come in and only end up running 5 appointments out of 50 if you leave it up to sales guys.
It sounds like the advantage then to the system is you're going to be able to spot those leaks in the bucket, those places where cash is leaking out, because you're looking at it, you're measuring it. What do they say? You treasure what you measure.
Yeah, right. It's not hard, literally, because we can even help them with a CRM system that if they just put the results in, it spits out all this data, and you start managing this whole thing by exception. Even if somebody's small and they're only dealing with one sales rep or themselves, they benefit from the system big time because they can make it efficient.
And then you've got a platform to grow, right? I mean, really, it's about once you've got it working properly, more fuel brings more growth.
Yes. When we start working with somebody, we have to be careful. We know that we're going to explode their growth. So we've got to really take a look at that company and say, can they handle that growth on the back end? Or are we just going to help them go out of business faster? Okay?
Yeah.
Because we can generate business. We can generate leads. We can generate sales. Can they install? And it blows people's minds when they start taking a look. And people who have been in this business for 10, 15 years didn't understand there was a professional selling system that all of the guys that are making serious money and running it as a business are using. They're out there, they're lost, okay? And it comes down to a whole complete system that even shows them systems of how a contract should be written and how a house should be measured and all those training programs, so that when you get your first person trained, you have a system to rely on to bring the second person and then the third person as you grow your leads. Soon, whoever owns the company is in a position that they're running a company, working on the company instead of always out at somebody's house dropping off quotes and competing based on price.
We'll end this edition of Let's Be Frank right there. Thanks for listening. Let's Be Frank is sponsored by Isaiah Industries, in the business of manufacturing the very best permanent roofing solutions for homes across North America and around the world. Learn more at isaiahindustries.com. Let's Be Frank is a production of Metal Roofing Consultants, training successful metal roofers nationwide. Learn more at metalroofingconsultants.com.